It is the 20th of March. Rise and shine. This is the first day of spring. I'm WESH 2 First Warning meteorologist Eric Burris. While most of us were sleeping, spring began. 0 days to go. It began at 5:01 this morning. We are now in that spring season, and I will say, while it may be spring, we're watching a cold front moving our direction. So don't get too excited about the, change on a dime thing. Though this front won't be a massive change to us, it's still a change nonetheless. Live look outside on our tower cam network showing a nice and cool start in many locations. Look at that, 49 in Ocala. It's 54 in the city. Beautiful Daytona Beach looking absolutely stunning at 54 degrees. And Leesburg waking up to 57. So it is beautiful. I'm happy to say it's going to be a gorgeous, gorgeous day across town. A first warning live Doppler radar check. I got nothing for you. And I love that for us. So here's where we go. Maybe a sprinkle. Pretty much dry, though. Looking good. 73, 11 o'clock, 80 degrees by 1, and 83 degrees our high temperature. It's going to be a gorgeous, gorgeous day. Some spots may be a tick warmer, some spots may be a tick lower, but at the end of the day, we're really looking like a fantastic, fantastic forecast. Gusty winds, 15, 20, 25 miles an hour out of the west-southwest. Not a bad day at all. So here's Futurecast kind of starting us up with that nice breeze. Notice as the front moves in, though, it gets windy. Today's not a day. I mean, I don't think today's gonna be much fun to go fly. Wouldn't be much fun to. I mean, maybe go take a sailboat, but you could see a few showers coming in as that front approaches us, mainly north of town. Look at that, though, gusting to 37 miles an hour in Ocala, right? Gusting to 26 in Orlando. There comes the front, gusting to about 26 as that front moves in. More than likely, it's just going to be clouds in the metro. But then as that front slides through, it changes the temperature regime. So while today we get up to 83 in Orlando, 81 in the villages, right? Look at our Friday temperatures. Let's start with Friday morning, okay? Hold on. I got to load the right graphic. Come on. There we go. Friday morning. Back into the lower 40s north of town, upper 40s across the metro area. And then tomorrow's afternoon. Remember, today we hit 83 degrees. Tomorrow's going to be a chilly day. So plan accordingly. 60s for high temperatures out east of town, lower 70s across the metro. But if you're like me and you're like, I'm kind of done, kind of ready for some cooler weather, happy to report at least you get that. But if you're like me and you're kind of done, ready for some warmer weather, we've got plenty of that on the 7-day forecast. The front that's coming through Tuesday into Wednesday of next week does not look like it's going to have a ton of kick to it. So at the moment, we're looking fairly quiet with readings in the 70s and 80s. Looks really nice. Looks really nice, right? So that's kind of where we're at in terms of our forecast. All right. Questions, comments, concerns? How we doing? Anything? Do you have anything at all? Just curious. Just curious. I know it's like 4 minutes in. I mean, there's plenty more to talk about, but before we get diving into any of the specificity, let's just say good morning to each other. I've missed Coffee Talk for several days. Well, Tanya, we're glad to have you back. Very glad to have you back. Pat saying good morning to everybody. David saying good morning. Marie saying good morning. I love it. All right. So here's the thing. Winds are going to be getting gusty. Air is going to be getting drier. That means that red flag warnings are going to be a thing, particularly the metro out to the east. If we look at the overall fire weather outlook, we're into a critical fire concern from the metro off to the east. So keep that in mind today as the winds go gusty, etc., etc. No burning, no burning at all. Please, please, no burning. Right? Not that. It's not that type of a setup. You just don't want to. You don't want to cause trouble. Okay? As long as you're good with that, we're good. Right? Of course, it's a good time to also talk about talk about the beach forecast. If you're heading out that direction, high risk of rip currents. Of course, until the front comes through, then at least it'll look a little bit better. But again, with the temperatures climbing into the weekend, upper 70s on Saturday, lower 80s on Sunday. Here's that beach forecast. Okay. Seas and surf not looking bad. Surf temperature's cool. And the air temperature at the beach probably going to be fairly cool as well. So keep that in mind. All right. So here we are looking good for now. We've got that front coming through. It's going to turn the winds. We're going to have a nice and cool late week, but then high pressure builds in. And essentially, what we end up with for the weekend, gorgeous Saturday, but as this area of high pressure scoots, we're going to start to crank the temperatures up just a little bit, right? And as the temperatures start to crank up, of course, that means Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, those temperatures go from the 70s to the 80s. And even though there's a front on Tuesday, at the moment, it doesn't look much like cool. Fine with me. Totally fine with me. Ashley says a big brush fire almost took out my house on Sunday. My daughter and I ended up with minor burns. Oh my God. Nothing is worth standing there. I mean, if there's a fire heading your direction, get the heck out of Dodge, girlfriend. You don't want it. You don't need that. Please take care of yourself. Can we burn an Oviedo? Listen, you know, the fire danger index numbers are going up. The Keach Byram drought index. We have an okay amount of soil moisture, but the fire danger index, let me look at the fire danger index. This is the wildland fire danger index. But I don't know that it's updating. It does not look like it's updating. This is what the computer says, but I'm going to the source and I don't know that it's updating. So ignore that for a second. Let's just go at the moment. Let's just go with the fire weather outlook and just know that it's critical out east. I don't know what the fire danger index is because the website that I have used for years and years and years isn't updating. So until the Florida Forest Service updates that, I need to send them a note. I'll send them a note after coffee talk. But anyway, yeah, we can all burn. That's the short answer of it is we can all burn, right? We got burned leaving Ashley. My gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that. That is terrifying. Terrifying. Man. I know, Matt. But I mean, there's going to be fire crews there. It's going to be a very heavily assisted event. So there's that. Let's see here. Diana says, I got notification that the road from Florida City to the Keys is closed due to wildfires and smoke. Really? Well, let's look. So again, and I've said this before, our future cast can model smoke, and it's interesting. There must be some decent burns down south and west of us because you see how the modeling is putting that into Brevard County, right? And then you said down say, oh yeah, there's apparently some pretty significant fires down here. That's going to start blowing today out ahead of the front up toward Miami Fort Lauderdale, and then as the front kind of sneaks through, it'll go offshore and eventually go south. But yeah, through the day today, I would imagine with kind of a south breeze, that smoke will blow up into Miami and Fort Lauderdale for today. And then add to the fact if there's any kind of a temperature inversion layer, warmer air, cooler air, cold air, it's normal. It allows it all to escape. And as we talked about yesterday, if there's any kind of an inversion layer or warmer air up top, it traps it all. So that may be a thing. We'll have to see. Didn't look at the soundings for today. Let's look at the soundings. We'll look at Tampa. There's a small inversion layer. I don't see a big one. In Miami, in South Florida, it's not. Yeah, there's not. Yeah, so it doesn't look like it would get trapped at the surface, but there is an inversion layer. Connie says fire down south is real close to the racetrack where the NASCAR races are this morning. Are they down in Homestead? Yeah. What are the humidity values? Must be pretty low to have a critical fire weather outlook. Well, let's look at the dew points. These are the dew points. Matt says makes for pretty sunsets. That it does. All right, so the dew points are in the 50s, so that's not so bad. Oh wait, this is I mean, dew points in the 40s and 50s are low, but look what we're going to do tomorrow. There is your problem. Right? It's windy today. So that's a problem, right? Tomorrow it's going to be super dry. Let's look at the winds tomorrow on Futurecast. Thankfully, not as, I mean, gusty, but not as gusty. Today, the problem is the wind. Tomorrow, the problem is going to be the super, 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 super dry air. So, yeah. Why is there a clover on Friday? I must have loaded the wrong 7-day there momentarily. Yeah, I must have loaded the wrong 7-day. My apologies. So, yeah, so there's your answer, right? Don't burn. That's the long and short of it. Today, particularly. I've been watering my landscape, trees, and shrubs. This wind is hard for them. Oh, for sure. Um, I feel like my palms in the back have been getting their tush slammed. I mean, they look awful. They look awful. And it's just the wind and some chill. They look awful. It stinks, right? Oh well. So anyway, we need Smokey the Bear to make a yeah, Smokey. Do you remember the Smokey the Bear? How funny. I remember Smokey. Only you can prevent forest fires. Debbie, I see your comments. I don't know if anybody else does, but I do. So that's where we're at. Let's do this. Let's dive a little deeper and just see what's to come. Nice storm system out over the ocean. Little front coming through. Not a significant deal for us. High pressure building in. Kind of a weak front there. Yeah. Yeah. Nothing crazy. A weak little front on Tuesday. Elongated front. That's going to be nice and warm early August. That's as far out as the GFS goes. Shall we do the BSR? All right. There's a little front. When are you? The 9th of March. Let me look. So about the 26th. Yeah, about the 26th, 27th, 28th, little front, which that makes sense. We know that next week around the 25th, 26th should be a front. That's a decent little storm system there. 28, 29, 30. Decent little storm system, 28, 29, 30. Another little piece of energy there. 30, 31 or first. Little front moving through around the first, second, third. So the very end of March into the early April looks like that's going to be a fairly active little pattern. And then beyond that, around 6th, 7th, 8th, those storm system. Yeah, 6th, 7th, 8th storm system. That's the 19th, 20th, 21st. That's the recycle of the Lake Mary tornado. So we'll have to watch that time frame there, and it definitely shows low pressure in the area. Yeah, so that would track. That would make sense. Okay, so yeah, definitely quieter-ish pattern for now. Enjoy it, but we do know that April, very end of April into early May. Stop. Very end of March into early April, turning a little more active, and then like mid-April turning active. Yeah. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Oh, Tim, I'm so jealous. I love that. I love it. I want to go back there. Of course, it's wonderful. Janice says we need to do a coffee talk group cruise. I can book it, she says. I would love that. I would love that. Go on Utopia or Wonder. Mm. All right. So that's kind of where we're at. Enjoy the sunshine for now. Now, my son was in the pool yesterday. It's like 55 degrees. He's swimming around. Today, at least, it's 83. We'll have a couple of days here, Friday, Saturday, of not pool weather. And then by Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's back to pool weather. It looks pretty good. So gotta love that. Laura says, I've never been on a cruise. They're so great. Oh my God, they're so great. I literally love it. I can't get enough. I love cruising so much. Ugh. All right. Questions, comments, concerns, my friends. Do we have anything? Group cruise in early December after hurricane season. That would be fun. Let's team up with. Oh, geez, Louise. That's okay, my Mickey. Debbie says I've never been on a cruise. Debbie, you got to go on a cruise. They're so great. I know, Laura. I know. That's why I'm not doing that. I'd love to swim in my pool. Need a new heater. Yeah. Sorry, Melanie. Yes, we have many questions. Go ahead. Keep it appropriate. Group cruise. Yeah, that would be fun. That'd be a party. Debbie says I'm sheltered. Well, go. Book one. There's so many options now. Margaritaville, you got Carnival, you got Royal, you got Disney. Tim, I love your life too. I love your life. I want to be Tim Johnson when I get older. Jan says no cruises for me, thanks. That's okay. Just something about chasing a 3-year-old on a ship doesn't seem fun. Maybe when he's older. Yeah, there's that. Yeah. Who needs a cruise when I can come crash your pool? Oh, boy. You have to babysit, though. Meant to ask, Lake Mary tornado cycle, was that part of the pattern to highlight in your long range forecast, or is that something that we need to watch? So, Mickey, it's a part that we saw cycle. It's not a tropical threat, though. Tim, did you just call me older? Oh, I just meant when I get older. When I get older, I want to be you when I grow up. That's all. Nikki, have you had a chance to go practice bowling? Yes, went bowling this week. I am very inconsistent. So I can either sweep your tuchus or I could be thrown down on the ground. Debbie says it's too expensive for singles. Yeah, because pricing is for double occupancy. That's true. I went on my first cruise last year and I've got the cruise itch now. Need to go again. The Bahamas are wonderful. Oh, they're all so great. They're all so great. Oliver says if the shoe fits. We've done the Bahamas. I mean, I've done the Bahamas a bunch. Did Honduras and Mexico last year. We're doing um, Eastern Caribbean this summer on Adventure of the Seas. Kathy Joe, could that Lake Mary part turn tropical? It has never been a piece of energy over the Gulf, so not expecting it to be that tropical part of the pattern. No, expecting that to be a spring deal, right? But not a tropical part of the pattern. It's been years. There's so much to explore. I know, Stacy, you're right. When you grow up, we never grow up. Just get old, Steven says. There's a good point there. Kelly says Norwegian has solo cabins and pricing. Look at that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I don't want to grow up. I'm turning 70 next month. Well, but Janice, as everybody says, age is but a number, right? You never grow up. What did Steven say? You never grow up, you just get old. Okay, well, we're all doing our best to never grow up. I fit in the large ones. There you go. I was lucky to cruise and they had some smaller ships with only 1,000 people on them. Would not enjoy the crowds now. But the ships are big enough. It's kind of one of those. They're around. You don't see a ton of them. You know. Oh God, Matt says I used to work on cruise ships. Never look into how the sausage is made. That's all you need to know. Well, Matt, you can't just drop that hot piece of sausage and not talk something. Matt, sir. Does the BSR help with the weather forecast in Norway next week? Are you cruising in Norway? I don't think it does. Are you cruising in Norway? Wow. I'm inching closer to 70 myself, Jan says. Inching. Janice says, I was born the same year as your mother, 1955. You're not old. You're not old. My biggest thing, and I think I've said this to you all, my biggest struggle through today is that my mother never got a chance to be old. It's tough losing a parent, right? But like my mom never got to be an little old lady. So, there's that. L. Ron Hubbard is here. Matt, inquiring minds want to know who threw out the Oliver with the L. Ron Hubbard reference. Matt says they're mostly fine, just not when you're on the crew side. Well, you got to go on with that. What do you mean? Oh man. Did Trans-Pacific 5 years ago, Transatlantic this fall. I've never done anything like that. That would be wild, Lawrence. That would be wild. Wow. May do the polar plunge. Tim, that's wild. Janice says, thank you for saying I'm not. But it's true. I'm not lying to you. It's true. It's true. Wow. Well, but Diane, I think we could all agree, right? You know? Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that, Tanya. Some tough growing old, the human condition is not for the faint of heart, I think is the best way to put it, right? Cynthia says my mother only made it to 50. She would have seen some wonderful grandchildren. The human condition. The human condition is not for the faint of heart. Period. You know? Jeannie Rowan says, just don't book a cruise during peak hurricane season and then cry about the change of ports, etc. Well, I booked a cruise and it was right after a hurricane coverage, and that was something. That was something. Going to Europe cruising this fall. Steven, that sounds so fun. Ah, that sounds so fun. I want to go to there. But it's like the human condition is tough. But my gosh, what an adventure it is. If we make it that, if we do our best to make it an adventure, right? Yeah. It's a privilege to get older. Selma's absolutely right. It's a privilege. It's not easy, but it's a privilege. All right, Matt. Of the many things on the crossing, crew only, after they are built in Europe, they love to play Titanic on every TV station and put the Shakira CD on 24/7 repeat for 7 days. Also, bring your own food, unless you like 4-day-old fish soup. What ship were you on, Matt? The Minnow? They love to play Titanic on every TV station. Why would that's just so random. And 4-day-old fish soup. Like what? What ship were you on? That sounds like a terrible experience for no reason. Cynthia says, the golden years ain't so golden, my father would say. We must live every day to the fullest. It's true. It's true. Right? G.D. Rowan says the Minnow, right? Like, was he on the Minnow? Yeah. Chris, I don't disagree with you going through what we have with my mother and my father, but just like playing airplane on a flight. I mean, that's the movie Airplane is funny. Tiffany says, sounds like a torture ship. It's true. Like for no reason. The Norwegian cruise is 6 nights with 35 port stops. How do you how do you do 6 nights with 35 port stops? We're gonna be here for 2 hours. We're gonna be there for 2 hours. We're gonna be there for two. How is that, Tim, even a thing? You know? The crew are tough, no perks for you. Well, that's true. The crew's tough, no perks for you. But at the same time, like bad food is bad food. And we don't need to play Shakira 24/7. Like, why? Are we testing the audio? Just put on some random mix. It just sounds like people are like glutton for punishment. There it is, Janice. Matt, that's 4 hours per stop going off of a 24-hour time frame with no cruising between, right? Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, right? Taylor says, but her hips don't lie. It's on a mail. Okay, there it is. Now Tim says it. It's on a mail delivery ship for the Norwegian government. Most port stops are 20, 30 minutes long. One port per day is three. Okay, now that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. Got to pop over and pop. Now that makes sense. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Barb says, got food poisoning on my Royal Caribbean cruise to Mexico in January. No fun. Oh, Oliver, why? Why? I'm not even going to repeat for the folks that are not in the same room as Oliver what Oliver just typed. It's not that it's inappropriate. It's just I don't want to make the earworm for y'all. My daughter and her family are on a 10-day vacation to London, Italy, Switzerland, and France. My gosh, that sounds cool. Sounds like an escape room cruise. That's funny, Tiffany. That's funny. Oh man. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. As the temperatures get a little warmer, I'll have to do some coffee talks outside so that I can enjoy the birds chirping and this wonderful conversation, except for, the SS Petri dish stuff. Oh, man. They played that on steel pan drums on the ship this week. That's too funny, Tim. I'm not even repeating. I don't want to get it in people's minds. Serious fun, though. A lot of the Royal Caribbean Hotel stall is Bohemian. See them show up in Finland in January. So that's how many Bohemians know how to deal with snow and ice. Oh, that's funny. I mean, if you're from a Caribbean island, it's definitely different. Ah, don't do it. The song will get stuck in my head all day. I'm not doing it, Tara. I'm not doing it. There's a song with sea life and the word do a lot, and I'm not repeating it. Thank you, Cynthia. Oliver says very few coffee talks actually laugh out loud and scare folks in the office because usually we focus on. Don't you do it, Bruce? Because we usually focus on the weather. Today, the weather's quiet, so the train can come right off the tracks. But I, for one, love it. Mickey wants to book another cruise. I get that. I get that, man. Man. Oh, Tanya, you're funny. All right. Questions, comments, concerns? Janice says the Margaritaville Islander ship is nice. All right, so I almost booked one for this week. Question for you. Is it for kids? Like, are there kids' activities or is it not? Is it like, I don't want to do like just a drunken cruise, you know? Oh, hey, Matt. That's a way to numb the pain of listening to Shakira for days and days and days on end. Ooh, baby, when you're talking about that. Ah, Audrey says I will be 70 next month too. Never been on a cruise. You really should. I pretty much love it. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. Janice says Royal Caribbean is great for kids. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree. They like the adventure ocean. They like, yeah, I agree. Yeah. Now that you're singing, Tanya, I don't want I don't want I don't want the wrist slap from the copyright police. Tim says, yes, kids on the Islander from Tampa, not Paradise from West Palm. Okay. Janice says, not a drunken cruise, but no kids' activities. Yeah. Why, Carla, would cruising with inner ear issues be an issue? I mean, flying I could understand, but why cruising? Interesting. Royal and Celebrity are the best. You couldn't pay me to go on the alternatives. Yeah, I mean, I've never done anything but Disney and Royal. Loved Disney. Love Royal. I've spent many vacations with Royal. Love it. Yeah, we need merch before yacht. We'll get the shirts and wear them on the cruise. Oh man, Terry's right though. If you take one cruise, you'll be. It's definitely it's its own thing. Got it, Carla. Point taken. Um, you either like it or you don't. That's all. You either like it or you don't. Laura, we're still waiting on Coffee Talk merch. I probably should get on that. Give me a nice deck on land and a fishing pole, and I'll be happy for life. Well, the ghosted woman on YouTube says that, and also teach a person to fish, they'll be fed the rest of their life, right? That's it. All right, that's all I got for today. Sing shanties and dress like Jack Sparrow. That's funny. That's funny. All right. Got beautiful weather today. Maybe a sprinkle or so as this front moves in. Otherwise, let's enjoy the day and let's go live life to the most. Let's do it. All right. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you for hanging out for Coffee Talk. I'll see y'all later. Take care.